Hello and good day. This is the Bible Bard, and this is a platform podcast preview for Bible Bard episode 93, What You Lack. Here's the place we're at today in Luke 18, verses 18 to 27. We read the story of a conversation Jesus has with a man who is called the rich young ruler. In our reading of the text, we see that the rich young ruler asks Jesus a question. He asked, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" We notice the young ruler has asked the wrong question. And how do we know that? Because Jesus has given us in other places the answer to this question. This podcast episode reads the story from Luke 18, then discusses the question asked and compares the answer Jesus gives here to the answer he gives elsewhere, and then looks at what Jesus says to the ruler. Finally, we look at a comment on the question by the Apostle Paul that because we look at the Bible as literature, we see Paul's answer in the form of an ironic metaphor. This metaphor is that if you're doing everything perfectly that your religion tells you to do to obtain eternal life, Paul says you're earning wages that ensures that you will not obtain eternal life because, as Jesus tells the ruler, no matter how hard you try, you will always lack one thing. The ironic metaphor is that the hard worker of religious duties obtains the opposite of what they are trying to achieve, because according to Jesus, eternal life is not achieved in that way. You can listen to this podcast episode on SoundCloud, YouTube, or other platforms that are listed at www.biblebard.org. Thank you in advance for following and sharing Bible Bard content.